Now comes to the most exciting part of the session, a focus budget. Let me invite Mr. Kenny Yee, Head of Research, Rakuten Trade, to come on stream.
Thank you, Coco. I wouldn't say it's the most exciting part of Rakuten Insights. I think, like you've mentioned, I think most of us have already digested, what's being tabled by our PM over the weekend. Obviously, this is a budget for the Rakyat's well-being, like I mentioned just now, mainly for the lower income group and the underprivileged. I maintain my stance, okay, that the government will not be too eager, okay, to adjust interest rate higher going forward, as this, any hike in rates, right, will certainly derail all the above initiatives. So, I mean, going forward, I would say that, the government may be, Bank Negara Malaysia will be very, very steadfast in their rate adjustments. I think if there's any, it'd be only maximum another 25 basis points, and that I would say it's not immediate. Possibly later this year or somewhere during the end of first half. Again, the contractors, I think ought to celebrate. All right. So finally, there's a mention of MRT3 project. Although the overall cost has been reduced to around 45 billion ringgit from around 50 billion currently. Nonetheless, I think this is a good way, a good start, okay, to kickstart the construction sector, cascading down to the nation's economy growth. As we all know, construction sector is a very, very important sector, okay, for the nation, as it has got the highest multiplier effect for the GDP growth, right? I think apart from this MRT3 project, I think there's a spectrum of infra-related projects for improvement, roads, street lights, things like that, to improve tourism and also businesses as well. So I think all in all, that is why a higher expenditure, a development expenditure of 97 billion has been allocated for such purposes. Okay, I'll pass the floor to Pak Ling, and maybe you guys can ask this question during the Q&A session. Thank you. Over to you, Pak Ling.
Hi, everyone. For the auto sector, the full exemption on actually the EV type of vehicles and the EV charging equipment get the biggest beneficiary. As for the banking sector, M40 and the B40 will get a 2% reduction in the income tax. For construction sector, as Kenny said, I think it's one of the most exciting sector. The government is targeting to grow the sector by 6.1% in this year. Okay, on the consumer, okay, tax cut and also cash handouts. This I think definitely will benefit the end consumer. For the healthcare sector, there will be 36 billion of allocation, whereby 4.9 billion to provide medicines, agents and reagents and vaccines and consumables. As for the property sectors, there will be a stamp duty exemption for the first million for real estate transfers. The government will also will mandate Tun Razak Exchange, TRX, as Malaysia's global financial hub. I think this creation will have this special zone within the Iskandar Malaysia will be positive exposure there. The government plans to develop the countries with borders with Kalimantan, as what Kenny said just now. I think in Indonesia, with such a huge population, eligible for 600 ringgit per month for the first 3 months. On the telco, accelerating the Jendela initiative with 725 million allocated to implement digital connectivity at about 47 industrial area and 3,700 schools. And also they plan to target 80% 5G coverage by the end of 2023. on the tourism, 250 million to promote tourism. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you all for joining us for today's Retabled Budget 2023 commentary session. Thank you, Kenny and Pak Leng as well for joining this weekly Raku Insight. Okay, thank
Okay.
you guys. Bye.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.